What in the world is virtual wholesaling real estate? Okay, wow. This can be summed up in 3 easy steps. Number 1, defining what you are going after in real estate. For the purpose of this quick training video, it will be houses. Regular, single family, 3-bed, 2-bath, or any type of house, or anything really that's a 4-plex or under. So technically defined as single family homes. Okay. Number 2, the location. You've heard this in real estate. Location, location, location. So defining one market. And then number 3, the strategy. What are we going to do, right? How are we going to get the lead? How are we going to get the property under contract, sell it for a profit? Okay. So first and foremost, the whole name of the game of what is virtual real estate wholesaling, or the activity of virtually wholesaling houses. So in this context, single family homes. First and foremost is to get your name. What is the goal? I like to talk about, before I explain something, what is the end goal? So we know what the purpose is. And the purpose is to get your name on a file, inside of a file like this. These are called settlement statements. These are long legal docs. And on these settlement statements, I have my name on over 475 of these personally, not including partnership deals, right? And on these statements, it says disbursement to seller. And that is where you want your name. Why? Because that is where you get paid. This particular one was net to seller, $34,465.65. Kind of cool. All right. All for doing what, Justin? All for trading paper. That's it. That's all we're doing, is trading purchase and sales contracts in the real estate game. So Justin, what in the heck does that mean? Okay. So in real estate wholesaling, you are not necessarily buying the property to renovate it, put a bunch of money into it, tens of thousands of dollars, and borrowing hundreds of thousands, if not multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars, and money to renovate the property, and then babysitting contractors, and then putting it back on the MLS with a real estate agent when it's all completed, like you see on TV. Okay, I've been there, done that, and I promise you, fixing and flipping properties is not what it's all hacked up to be. And look, I still do it, and I still proponent. I'm still a big proponent of it, but only when you're making about 6 figures per deal. That's the only time it's worth it. So what I do is I wholesale if a property does not have potential for a huge payday. And wholesaling is signing a contract with a motivated seller. So let's just say that we found a property in, I don't know, Orlando, Florida. It's worth $200,000. The owner of that property just inherited it from their parents. They can't afford the taxes or the insurance or whatever it might be. They just can't afford it. So it's worth $200,000, and I make them a cash offer for $150,000. Still a pretty fair price to them. And this way, the homeowner does not have to put in tens of thousands of dollars in repairs, maybe money that they do not have. Maybe put it on the real estate market, especially this economy, with an agent in those repair, in that disrepair, and wait for 30, 60, 90, 100 days, 6 months, or maybe even a year to sell the property, or afford the 3 to maybe 6% in closing costs, right? And agent commissions and fees. Instead, some people opt to just sell the property to a real estate investor. So someone like me who acts as principal to buy the property and then either A, renovate it like we talked about earlier, make it nice and pretty, and put it back on the market, or B, buy the property and sell it the same day and make a nice chunk of profit in the middle to somebody else who's going to close on the deal to renovate it. And now how do we do that? So often we put a property under contract for one price. In this example, the Orlando property, for $150,000, it's worth $200,000. Okay. I then market this contract. This is called an equitable interest. Once I come to an agreement with the homeowner, this is now an asset. So a lot of times in real estate, we think the house, we think the property, the roof and the doors and the windows. But the truth is, just like big banks and banking, the real money is in the money. It's in the paperwork. And you can actually secure the equitable interest in that property as a principal purchaser and sell it. Pretty cool. Now, in most states, with the exclusion of a few, You can even assign that equitable interest for profit. So let's just say, in this example, I got under contract for $150,000, and I found a landlord who wants to buy this property in Orlando, Florida, rent it out as a vacation rental for people that come to see Mickey Mouse, and he would love to buy this property from me for, let's say, $160,000. So then the difference between the $150,000 that I have the contract with this property in Orlando with the homeowner, and then I can now sell it for, let's say, a $10,000 assignment fee, okay, using another separate contract with an assignment contract. And then I give those two documents to what's called a title company or a title attorney that works with real estate wholesalers, meaning they're insured and licensed and have the knowledge on how to do wholesale transactions, which just real quick just means either signing or double closing or simultaneous closing, which is how a property can be bought and sold the same day using none of your own cash or credit whatsoever. This is the pure, unadulterated truth. You can technically buy and sell a property with a negative credit score, like a 100. I don't even know, is there even a 100 credit score? With like 1 penny in your bank account, because it's done every day, all the time. You see, when you put a property under contract, like this example property in Orlando, Florida, that's worth $200,000, and you put it on a contract for $150,000, you just created something called equity. And you did that with your mind. You did that with knowledge that you've learned, and then you applied it. And now that you own that contract for $150,000 and you found a buyer who wants to pay $160,000, you take these two pieces of paper, just like this, and you email it to a title company like this, and they will put your name on what's called the settlement statement, like we talked about earlier. This is the ultimate goal, is to get your name on a settlement statement. And then you can rinse and repeat this over and over and over and over again. This is a small stack that I have on my desk right now. And like I said, I got my name on over 400 of these babies, these bad boys. Print personally. A lot of people like to put big numbers out there, but their name or their company name is not on the actual settlement statements. They're like talking about bulk deals or partnership deals. Anyway, so I have my name on that many deals, and you can too. The only thing you need to do is to understand those three principles. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Number one, what are we going to do here? We're going to virtually wholesale real estate. What kind of real estate? Single family homes. Why did you say that, Justin? Well, I'm just telling you right now, it's the lowest hanging fruit. They're kind of the easiest to get into. We got to start somewhere, right? And then eventually you can work your way up to multifamily deals and office buildings and commercial and all that stuff. You can wholesale all of it, okay? Now, what's the virtual part? Well, you are not actually going to these houses. You see, the virtual part about what are we doing virtually wholesaling houses is actually a mindset shift. You might have already heard about what wholesaling houses is before you watch this video. But virtual wholesaling is wholesaling the exact same thing, just flipping paper for a profit. Equitable interest in contracts. That's all it is. But you're doing it with a different mindset. And the mindset is, wait a minute, I don't have to go do that 3-bedroom, 2-bath home in Orlando because that's where I live, or in Austin, Texas, or in Baton Rouge, or in Memphis, or in Raleigh because that's where I live. I can actually be anywhere. So as long as I have a motivated seller, and so as long as I know how to find a end cash buyer who will guarantee to close on that deal, then I will be able to buy and sell that property the same day with a good title company and or attorney without any of my cash or credit from anywhere. As a matter of fact, I did my very first virtual wholesale deal while I was sitting at a picnic table in our beautiful estate that we leased for a month with my family in Costa Rica, a small little town called Playa Negra that we go to almost every year with my family of now 4 kids. And the very first deal I ever did virtually was right there. And that was an epiphany because I was breaking my back buying and renovating properties like they do, like Hollywood teaches you, like fixing and flipping properties equals success. But the truth is that was nothing but borrowing millions of dollars from private money lenders or banks, and then babysitting contractors. No offense, some of the contractors were even my friends, but it was just, this guy painted over my cabinets. This guy stepped on my wet concrete. This guy, that guy, it was like nonstop, like daddy daycare. Okay. It was just a pain in the butt. And it took forever to finish projects and finally get paid. And sometimes the contractors would make just as much money as me, the real estate investor, did. I didn't like it. It was a lot of debt, borrowing money, and it is a full-time job. Really, all I did was end up swapping out my other full-time crazy job for another job. And so it wasn't fitting my lifestyle. And I don't know about you, but I got into real estate to get out of debt and to have more money so I can do more things, because I'm about the time, baby. I'm all about the time freedom. That's what I want. I want time to go do really cool stuff. I actually, before I got into real estate 20 years ago, before I was married and had kids, because I just wanted to surf better waves. That's literally my why. That was my purpose of why I got into real estate and maxed out my credit cards trying to learn the business. And so what is virtual real estate wholesaling? Again, it is wholesaling regular homes, maybe like the one you live in or used to live in or live in now, typical just single family homes, right? And they can range from anywhere from 1 bath, 2 baths, 3 baths, 4 baths, 5 baths, doesn't matter. And then we're doing that completely virtually. So it just means you might live in, I don't know, Baton Rouge, right? And you want to do a deal in Orlando, Florida, because you found a motivated seller. Or better yet, because you found a landlord cash buyer who told you, I want to buy 25 more single family homes in Orlando, Florida. And you just met this person. You're like, ooh, but I live in Baton Rouge. How the heck am I going to serve you? Oh, real simple. It's this thing called the internets. Okay. And now with the advent of AI, it has become even infinitely easier. I'm jealous because I had to get started without AI. I had to do all the hard work. It is literally infinitely easier to find motivated sellers, off-market properties that you can make offers on, know exactly what kind of offer to make, know exactly how to put that deal under contract, know exactly what title company to use, all leveraging AI. So AI has made virtual real estate wholesaling infinitely easier than it has ever been. So there's been no better time to become a virtual real estate wholesaler, in my opinion. So hopefully you've learned some good tips from this. If you liked this video, like and subscribe it, please, because it really helps the algorithm so I can help more of you. And I just want to get to meet you guys. Look, the more that we collaborate and do deals together, obviously the more financial freedom we all get. So subscribe if you like these tips, and I look forward to producing you another tip shortly.